Phone cameras are getting closer and closer, to the extent that the only real difference between them are slight changes in colors and how they handle computational photography. But at the same time, after using both S24 FE and iPhone 16 for a few weeks and shooting hundreds of photos with them, I can tell you that S24 FE can take better pictures than the iPhone, at least in certain situations. Let's take a look at this example. I took both photos with 3x zoom. Galaxy S24 FE uses the dedicated telephoto lens, while iPhone 16 uses a digital crop. The picture of the S24 FE has a higher visible quality, less noise, and more accurate colors. It is not the best picture, but it is usable. In this shot, the iPhone did slightly better than last time, but still, the Galaxy S24 FE has much more detail, and the moon has even more highlights and details. The telephoto lens is also important for taking portrait photos. Usually in photography, you use a 50mm to 85mm lens, which is similar to a 3x zoom on a phone camera. Here you can see that Daria's face looks better on the Galaxy than the iPhone. Both these photos were taken with 3x zoom and portrait mode. The same observation on my face can be seen in this picture. Someone may prefer the warmer colors on iPhone 16 compared to the Galaxy S24 FE. But if, for example, we zoom into this little corner of the hat, you can see that Galaxy's photo has less noise and is more visible. You may say, but Mo, you cherry-pick these pictures just to show that the S24 FE is better, and you're right. I could also show you that the iPhone 16 has a macro mode that the S24 FE lacks. If you use the main lens, there are not much of a difference other than the S24 FE adds more colors and makes the photo more vibrant compared to iPhone 16. Also, the greens are deeper on iPhone 16. But if you use the ultrawide lens, you cannot get that close to the subject on S24 FE. But the iPhone has a better close-up distance, and you can get pretty close to take macro shots like I did here, and the details are also great. There is another annoying problem with iPhone 16, and that's the green lights and ghost lights on the photos. If you look at the middle of the photo on iPhone, there's a visible green ghost light which ruins the image. I took another photo from a different angle, but the green dot was there. I encountered this problem indoors too, and this is due to the glass that iPhone is using on their phones. Moving back to the telephoto lens, this is something that I use a lot when taking pictures of architecture while traveling. Here I took a picture with 5x zoom. Even though both did a great job, you can see that the S24 FE is sharper with more details. Here is a picture with 10x zoom. Considering the photo from iPhone is a digital crop, it has still created a respectable result. But again, it has better text visibility for S24 FE. On the ultrawide lens, the difference is less. Both of them created equally pleasing pictures despite the lack of light in this scene. The photo of the iPhone is a tad warmer. Same here. It is almost sunset and it is cloudy. Nevertheless, the ultrawide lens on both phones did great. The colors of the iPhone are more muted, while the Galaxy is more vibrant. Moving to the main lens, both have similar megapixel counts, and the quality is comparable. I do see that the S24 FE camera is a bit noisier than the iPhone 16, and the iPhone has a better white balance here. Regarding stabilization, both did a nice job, even though I was not particularly careful when I was walking. Again, this picture and colors tones are different. The Galaxy tone is more vibrant, and the one on the iPhone is darker with more contrast. The same situation is true here. iPhone colors are more accurate, and at the same time, Galaxy did a better dynamic range for the sky. Here I also feel the quality of the picture on the iPhone is better. The Galaxy lifted the shadows too much, and that ruins the magic of the architecture a bit. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, or if you prefer the photos on the Galaxy. Both phones support the usual things like taking a video in portrait, or as Apple calls it, cinematic mode. I use this mode a lot for human subject, and it works pretty well on both phones. Using portrait mode also works with both phones. You probably don't want to put the F lower than 4, otherwise the bokeh effect will be too aggressive. Again, the colors are very different, especially the skin tone. The iPhone color is greener, which adds to the skin tone, while the S24 FE has more magenta for the skin and less contrast. Here, it was getting dark, and this is where the smaller lens on iPhone 16 and S24 FE compared to Pro Max and Ultra phones shows. Neither of them could capture details on Daria's face. When it comes to the selfie camera, the iPhone selfie camera is wider. Also, the S24 FE has a cheaper and lower quality selfie camera than its sibling, the S24 and S24 Plus. The result is that the selfie video is noisy, but it is by no means unusable. The bigger issue is that, as I said, it is hard to fit 2 people into the frame compared to the iPhone 16. The quality of the image is also comparable. Again, the iPhone 16 has more green to it, while the S24 FE has more magenta to the skin tones. Also, the night photos differ between these two photos. The S24 FE photos have handled their flare much differently than the iPhone 16. Also, the S24 FE photo is noisier than the iPhone 16. On the main lens, the difference is less visible, but the colors are the main difference. The sky is darker blue on the iPhone than the Galaxy. Surprisingly, on 5x zoom, the iPhone did a great job, and the photo looks even better than the Galaxy S24 FE. But with 10x zoom, things change again in favor of S24 FE, and the clock is much more visible. I don't see a huge difference for selfies, and it's the same old story. Green tone for iPhone and magenta for Galaxy. And here's the shot that I showed at the beginning. The image that S24 FE captures is much better. I assume it also has a lower shutter speed than the iPhone because, as you can see, there is more motion blur on the image and the trees and the clouds are more blurry. And here for videos during the night, they both created similar results. The video on the iPhone is visibly darker compared to the Galaxy. But again, there is a big flaw with the video that the iPhone 16 produced, and that's the reflection of the text on the video that is visible and again is ruining the image. I wonder when Apple plans to fix this vital issue. If you like this video, you can watch a day in the life comparison of S24 FE versus S24 with many camera comparisons next. Thanks for tuning in to TechMo, and I will see you in the next one.